Okay, first video ever on YouTube, so be gentle with me. A problem with the excellent and free OBS Studio, used widely globally, is that it doesn't accept the output of ASIO drivers. It doesn't play nice with ASIO. There are various plugins to allow you to use it with the ASIO inputs, so microphones and so on plugged into audio interfaces that have ASIO. But if you want to take the output of an ASIO driver, it's problematic. So let me illustrate the problem. So what you're hearing in the background is VLC, some music created, just a little sequence created, and you can hear that quite clearly. So I'll just pause that for now. And let's just go to Harrison Mixbus. I'm running Mixbus 32 version 7. And, oops, I need to get rid of that first. Okay, so what we have is some audio here. I promise you that there is audio there, but you can't hear it because OBS can't hear it. OBS Studio is not, no matter what I do, no matter what settings I apply here to desktop audio, for some reason, even if I set it to the Focusrite USB audio, it doesn't work, or default. So that's our problem. How do we get the audio that you can see here, but cannot, I promise you there's audio. I can hear it in my headphones. And if I turn up my monitors, I can hear it through those, and you'll hear that creep into your... But it's not coming into OBS directly. That's the problem. So, the good folks at, let me stop that so I can hear myself think. The good folks at Reaper, the guys who make Reaper, Cocos, however it's pronounced, have a series of plugins that they make available free of charge. And it's a collection of very standard plugins, but one of them in particular is very, very useful. I'll put a link down below and you can pick these plugins up. And the solution basically is to put a plugin on the output of Harrison Mixbus, which streams over IP the audio coming from Harrison Mixbus. And then in OBS Studio, put a plugin on a new display capture device, an audio input capture, excuse me, that receives that broadcast, IP broadcast stream, and then delivers it too. So that's what we're going to do. So the first thing to do is, well, download and install that plugin in your, be careful which VST folder you put it in, but OBS did find it. So what we do here first, we're going to add this VST called ReaStream. It's the Rea Plugs edition. And you can see it has two options. I'll just zoom in a little for you here. You can either receive audio or MIDI, or you can send audio or MIDI. And that's what we're going to do. So from Harrison Mixbus, we're going to do a local broadcast send. We don't need to send it out over the network, although you could. And that's all you do. So if I come back out of there, you now see that that is installed up here, and it has to be the last plugin on the output of the master. And then we can, the audio is now streaming out here. How do we know? We double click it again, and you can see the audio is being sent. Good. Now, the next thing then is to go to OBS Studio and create a new source. And the new source will be audio input capture. We call it Mixbus 32. Make the source visible, and it's there. And we'll set this to... Now, again, we've set that up, but it's not receiving. This is the problem that we had previously. So even though we said Mixbus 32 here, it's not actually receiving the audio. Why? Because we haven't installed the VST. So we need to install another instance of that excellent VST, and we'll go to filters this time, and we'll add an audio filter. In OBS Studio, a filter is simply a plugin. There are built-in ones, but here at the bottom of the list you can see VST2X plugins. And if you've got your plugins in the right folders, we'll just call this ReaStream Mixbus 32. You can call it whatever you like. Now, we now have to select the plugin, and here's a list of my plugins, and if I go all the way down to the bottom, there it is, ReaStream Standalone. And now we'll open the plugin interface, and as you can see, it defaults to receiving audio MIDI, and there is the VU meter showing you the audio coming in that is being sent from Harrison Mixbus. So we close that, close this. You should now hear, that should now be very audible. If I go back to Harrison Mixbus, it should mute. You should hear it. Now you should not hear it. Now you hear it again. Now you don't. That's it. It's extremely simple to do once you know how. It took me some Googling and research, but and none of the solutions were straightforward for Harrison Mixbus. So just to reiterate, turn down this music a little bit. Just to reiterate, what we're doing is we have the same plugin, but we install it at the output of the master channel in Harrison Mixbus and configure it to broadcast the audio, and then we configure it on an input channel in OBS Studio and configure it to receive. I hope those of you who struggle with Harrison Mixbus and OBS Studio found this useful. It's always preferable to use ASIO drivers. You can get all this to work with Windows MME, but that's not it's not a preferred approach. That's it. Hope you see this and hope you find it useful. Thank you.